Honda CR-V oil changes and Earth Dreams complaints. Part 2, more problems. Okay, let's recap where I'm at right now. So far I've had the update or the recall that's supposed to fix the oil dilution problem. You'll see in the video. In the previous video, you'll see that I have filed under the Canadian class action suit. So far I haven't heard anything back, so I don't know if anything's happened. This video is about 3,500 kilometers after the last video. And it's time for an oil change. You're watching YouTube channel Ray's Fix. All of these videos are made by Raymond Gallant. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. It's free and it'll help me out. Okay, let's get started right now. Okay, I didn't want to make another oil change video, but what happens here is this guy here, and I was the one who changed the oil last. This screw does not want to come out. Okay, so it actually snapped the nut part off of this aluminum sheet. So now I'm gonna have to grind this off to get this plate out. And I didn't think that was one of the issues I was gonna have to worry about with this, but here we are. Okay, first off, I'm gonna put on my safety glasses and ear muffs because this operation is quite loud underneath the car. You should have proper PPE if you try to do this job. This grinding operation, just to remove the stainless steel head off of the bolt, takes about 6 minutes to do, so I sped it up a little bit. You'll also see that I'm continuously having a rag with water applying to it. What that does is it stops the plastic from melting, because that head is actually getting quite hot enough to melt the plastic. And if you take a look, you'll see that how as soon as I push a slight amount or put a little bit of pressure on, how everything moves. This is not a rigid operation, that's for sure. This is a closer look at the finished product. If you take a look, you can see where I did nick the plastic a couple times and the aluminum. This could have been a neater job if I would have used a Dremel, but it would have taken about 5 times longer. Okay, so see how the stud's still in this one? You come over, actually the bolt unscrewed from this one, but it did not unscrew from this one. So this is the one I had to grind. And all it does is spin when you go to turn it, which is unpleasant. So this is the bolt here that's supposed to go in it. That's what's left, and the shaft is still in here. Now these guys I thought were clever way of putting them up, but I always had a hard time getting the bite. And when I went to take these down, one of them was missing. So I don't know what I'm going to do here. So for this guy here, I'm just going to try and cut this off, and then I'm going to use a zip tie probably through here to here, or punch a hole in here and hold this up with a zip tie, because if this happens, that's, especially in the wintertime, it's unpleasant to have to turn around and do this. I think I would just rather leave this thing off, but it does do some protecting, right? So I don't know, I think I'll put it back on this time, but if I get another one like this that happens, I'm going to re-tap this hole, clean it out, put some anti-seize in here, same with the one in the back. But that's a lot of work to do for something like this, so we'll see. A little bit of grinding, knocked it off, got a little bit of scars on the actual aluminum plate, but it's off. So what this piece is basically what they call a rivet nut insert. It compresses over top. So if you take a look at the bottom left hand corner here, you put the threaded insert or the rivet nut onto the actual compression tool, then you put it inside the piece of metal. In this case it's a blue piece. Now if we take a look to the bottom right, as the threaded insert piece gets pushed back, it shrooms over top and pinches the piece of sheet metal. Then you unscrew the unit, which is on the top left, and then you have the piece around it. So what has happened is the nut got stuck inside there and it actually slipped around. So it's just spinning. That's why I had to grind it off, which is unfortunate, but you know, that's what you have to go through sometimes. The topped hole is a 6 by 1 millimeter. So I ran it through here. There was no junk in here, but I'm also going to run it through the one that's attached to the car underneath. Then I'm going to coat the bolts in anti-seize to stop them from seizing up again. Here's the location of the second hole. Okay, so I just drilled that hole, so I'm going to put a zip tie in there, but there's some sharp edges, so I'm going to use this tool because this is really thin to deburr this. You just go around like that, and I'm going to flip this over here, do the same thing on the back side. Basically, it deburred it, removed all the burrs, so that I won't cut myself handling it.
Am I doing?
Okay, so I did end up putting a zip tie in here. I drilled a small hole, made it really easy. I am going to clip that off, but I put all of the other pieces in. Maybe in a couple oil changes from now, I'll say forget it and not even bother putting this plate back on. Pre-fill the filter, like you guys had suggested from the previous video's comments. So even an old dog like me can learn some new tricks. In a previous video, somebody asked me where I got this funnel from, and I got it from Canadian Tire. It's a nice short one and it fits in rather snugly. This is the color of the oil after 3,500 kilometers. It's dark. It has a bit of a hue to the top of it, but I'm not sure if that's gas or not. This is probably the most disturbing part. I put 3.5 liters into this in the last oil change that you guys saw on the videos. I just took out 4.5 liters. So therefore, in 3,500 kilometers, I gained 1 liter of something. This vehicle has undergone the recall. This is not supposed to happen after the recall's been fixed. The problem was supposed to have been fixed, but obviously it is not. The moral of the story with this is do your own oil changes and measure the amount of oil coming out of your vehicle. Therefore, you know you still have a problem or not. Hi, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you want to see other great videos, check out my YouTube channel, Ray's Fix. If you got any value out of this video, please like and subscribe. It'll help me out. It's free. All you have to do is click on the icon on my face and I'll do the rest. Thanks again. Have a great night.